This book is personal, yeah, and the title, as you heard, is How I Stopped to Be a Jew. The first question is, did I was a Jew before? No. Did I was a Jew before? No. Did I was a Jew before? No. This book is personal, yeah, and the title, as you heard, is How I Stopped to Be a Jew. The first question is, did I was a Jew before? No. From cultural point of view, I don't believe that a secular Judaism exists. Secular Judaism as identity exists because people define themselves, secular people, atheists define themselves as Jews. It's not a problem. Jewish secular identity exists. The question is if culturally secular Jewishness exists. And I don't believe. It's a long time that I was thinking about it. But I never thought that I will go to publish a book, How I Stopped to be a Jew. The first time that I started to think about the subject was by reading again an essay of Bertrand Russell. He wrote it in the 1920s. Why I Am Not a Christian. Do you know it? Very famous one. No? You stop to read Bertrand Russell. It's a very clever essay. Why I Am Not a Christian. In the beginning, the name of the book was Why I Am Not a Jew. But I developed it, I changed it a lot. But the first idea came from Bertrand Russell. If he is not a Christian, I am not a Jew. Now, there is a few other reasons that I decided to write this book. And also it has a relationship with England and with London. I think it was 3 years ago. I was speaking here in a bookshop. I don't remember the name of the bookshop. A very nice place. I was speaking about my second book, The Invention of the Land of Israel. And it was with Brian Clough. The name of the moderator was Brian Clough, a very nice person from Oxford, I think. And we developed a discussion about Jewish people, and he said that he has agreed with me with all my critique about Zionism, but he is a very, very Jew. And I say that I don't understand in which way he is a Jew. We started to develop the idea. He said that he is a Jew, he feels a Jew, and I asked him which kind of culture, Jewish culture, because he is a secular one, which kind of Jewish culture he is going to transmit to his children. And he said that his children is not his children, it's the wife's children, that she is from Christian origin. Then he don't have a problem of transmitting. Everything was very nice, very lovely. And the audience started to discuss. Rowan, you remember the evening? They discussed. Most of the audience were from Jewish origin, good Englishmen. And I see in the corner a group, 3 or 4 non-Jew, I mean from the Middle East, that didn't take a part in the discussion. And I feel very badly about them. And I remember going out from this bookshop and asking myself one question that I never asked before. How somebody that is not born to a Jewish mother can join the club? I mean, you can become a socialist, you can become a labor member, especially after yesterday evening, and you can become British even, you know, with a lot of difficulties. You can become an Israeli, you can become Muslims very easily, and you can become a Jewish Orthodox believer. In which way somebody can become a secular Jew without having a mother that is Jews? And then suddenly I say, no, it's an exclusive club, a closed club, no? Nobody can join. the Jewish secular identity. It's true or not? When I expose it in Tel Aviv, somebody said, he can convert it to Judaism, and after it, to jump away. No, really, a lot of people say it. But it is an exclusive club. You cannot join the club. 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, nobody wanted to join the club. It's true. Today, it's become more trendy, more easy, no, to be a Jew in the Western world. And I felt bad this evening about this. The people that were there, they didn't take a part in the discussion about Jewish identity. This is another reason to write the book. There is a lot of others. Why I don't feel today, like all my life, that I have the right or the obligation to define myself as a Jew. Culturally, as a historian, I know that a secular Judaism doesn't exist. There is question if a Jewish sensibility exists, and what is the meaning of a Jewish sensibility that exists. But one thing I'm sure, if there is an Israeli culture, language, food, music, etc., you cannot find a Jewish secular culture that, the Jewish has in the world. Not food, not music. People mix between Yiddish culture, and it was a very, very important culture in the past. It was destroyed by a lot of forces, Nazism, Bolshevism, Zionism, etc. But it was, in East Europe, a very, very important Yiddish culture, an Yiddish identity, in Yiddish political parties, etc., etc. But if there is an Israeli culture, if there is a Yiddish culture, I don't understand what is a secular Jewish culture. But all this is not a reason to write a book about it, no? The second, every important thing has a lot of reasons. You start to understand history by understanding it before. There is other reasons that I felt very badly to define myself as a Jew. You see, I'm living in the Israeli state. I'm living in Tel Aviv most of my life. After the displacement camp, I was living in Tel Aviv. Now, Israel defined itself as a Jewish state. Agree with me, yeah? Not only Bibi Netanyahu, not only Avigdor Lieberman, also the Labour Party, in Israel, insist. And not only the Labour Party, even Meretz, it's another political left party, define Israel as a Jewish state. Now, I'm living in a state, a Jewish state, that a quarter of the population are not defined as Jews by the Minister of Interior. You know it. 20% of Arab Israelis. I'm not speaking about the occupied territories. I'm speaking about citizens in the state of Israel. And 5% of descendants of immigrants from East Europe that were not with Jewish mothers. Together, 25% of the population in Israel, without occupied territories, are not considered as Jews. How come that Israel defined itself as a Jewish state? In most of the Jews in the world accept it. In most of the establishment communities in the world, Jewish one, not only accept it, are very, very happy with it. Imagine tomorrow that Britain decides to define itself as an English state, or Christian English state. It's much better. How long it will exist, your kingdom? Big Britain, Great Britain. How long? If it's defined itself not a state, a kingdom of all the British, but only of the English one. How the Scot will feel, how the Welsh will feel, how the children of immigrants that become British citizens will feel. They will feel like Arab Israelis are feeling in Israel. I mean, they are living, walking, dying in a state that considers itself the state of Woody Allen and not of them. Why? I'm sure that there are people here, even on the stage, that consider themselves as Jews. If you want or you won't want, it's your state. Yes, it's your state, Professor Feldman. It's not the state of my pupils, Palestinian-Israeli pupils, and I have Palestinian-Israeli pupils in Tel Aviv University. Then I ask you, seriously, defining myself as Jew, continue to be a Jew in Israel today, it's unmoral. Because a Jew in the state of Israel is a privileged citizen. True or not true? Somebody contest it? And I don't speak of the occupied territories. 47 years. A population without any political civic rights. Not 47 days. Not 47 weeks. Not 47 months. 47 years. In the Western world, they're thinking we need a peace process. In the Labour members' party in Israel asked the members of the Labour Party in Britain not to vote to recognize a Palestinian state. Wait to the peace process. 47 years. They hope that it will be again 47 years. No, but a few years ago when I started to work about the history of the Jewish, I was sure that the territorial problem will finish very quickly. Rationality, because I tried to be a rational person, I understood that, Israel will decide very quickly to stop the occupation because she wants to stay a Jewish state. I make a mistake, by the way. If you want, I will develop it later because I promise to speak only maximum 30 minutes. Then I will continue to speak about Jewish identity and not about the political problem of Israel today, okay? Going back, I decided to write this book, declaring that I'm not a Jew because I'm ashamed to be a Jew in Israel, first of all. Because I am a privileged citizen, as I said before. And if Britain will declare that it's an English state, the Englishmen that will insist that they are English will not be moral in my point of view. I compare it also with other states. You see, if Spain will declare tomorrow that is not a state of all the Spanish, but only of the Castilians, the Catalan will not take it, very nicely. In the Basque, in the Andalusian also. But Israel is a state, or a communitary state, you understand? Not a republic. Not a state of its citizens. It's not looking the good of its citizens that are paying the taxes. It's looking of the good of the Jewish in London, hoping that one day they will arrive. This is another reason that I wrote this book. I can continue with all other reasons, thinking that all my life, when I defined myself as a Jew, it was firstly because anti-Semitism. I remember repeating as a leftist militant always that I am a Jew till the last anti-Semitic person will live with us in this planet. And I repeat it for a long of years, and I become old with this idea. And then I decide it's not enough to define something in this way. Because if I will define myself as a Jew because of anti-Semitism, in some way, I will give them a kind of victory. If I define myself as a Jew because of the past, because of the memory, in some way the Nazis won. Why? Because they considered the Jews as an essentialist figure in history, an essentialist identity. Essentialist, I'm saying Jewishness for the Nazis, like for the anti-Semitic racist, is essentialist identity, okay? Then if I consider myself as a Jew, secular Jew, there is some essentialism in my definition. And I don't feel very comfortable about it. And I don't like that the Nazis won. They lost the battle and they won from the point of view of ideologically. People ask me, no, a Jew, stay a Jew forever. Then it's a victory of anti-Semitism. And now I decided that I don't want that the anti-Semitism will win. It's finished. And I decided that I am not a Jew. What was the reaction about it? Terrible. People are feeling, how come? But a day before yesterday, I took the plane from Tel Aviv to London. And I started to speak with a young woman about our travel to London. She said she's going to meet a guy that she knows, that she's engaged. I say, whoa, fantastic, fantastic. You quote an Englishman. She say, yes, but he's a Jew. Then I say, oh, I don't care. Why you don't care? Oh, if he was from Christian origin, it's the same thing. It's nice that you quote an Englishman. I asked her if he's blonde because she was with very dark hairs. I asked her from where you come, and she said from Tashkent, 20 years in Israel, Haifa. Tashkent. The look was a real Tatarian, by the way. I mean, a very nice woman, very lovely woman, but with, what is Tatarian, a little Mongol. Me too, have a little bit of it. Anyway, she's 20 years in Israel. And then I say, oh, it's fantastic. I was happy for her. And she say, he's a Jew. I say, I don't care if he's a Jew or not a Jew. He's a good man, yes. But you have to understand it's important that he is a Jew. I ask, why? You are not religious. By the way, all around us, it was Hasidic people. And she was with jeans like this, very sexy. And I asked her, why it's so important for her that he's a Jew? Because of the blood, she said. Because of the blood. Which blood? Jewish blood. Okay. She is not a scientific person. She is not an intellectual. But I'm working in Tel Aviv University where you can find departments that people, professors, scientific people are looking for the Jewish DNA. Do you know it? After publishing the first book, I was attacked. I remember an article about me in the New York Times, a very nice article. And in the end of the article, Patricia Cohen, by the way, I don't know, a journalist, she was not aggressive against me, but in the end, she called a genetician in New York, and they say, no, Shlomo Sand is not right because there is a DNA, a Jewish DNA. It's not a joke. The problem is with the Jewish identity today, secular Jewish identity, that it's too weak to be a real identity. How a secular Jew can define himself? By blood, like this young woman, no? There is a common DNA for the Jewish in the world or not? Look on the Jews, huh? The anti-Semitic were right saying that it is a kind of people race. It's not a joke. In my university, people are looking, without a lot of success, for Jewish DNA because it's so difficult to define a secular Jew. What is the other way to define a secular Jew? It's by the Shoah, no? You cannot stop to be a Jew because of the Shoah. I heard it a lot of times. Then defining somebody only around a memory, in a memory of a tragedy, can become very perversive. Perversive? Perverse. To define somebody's identity only after a memory of a tragedy can be very perverse. And this is one of the acts of Jewish secular identity in our world in the beginning of the 21st century. True or not true? Why it can be perversive? Because look on the education today in Israel. People are Jew because of the Shoah. The third way to define yourself as a Jew is to identify with Israel. It's one of the means to define yourself as a Jew. In the Israeli policy, the last 50 years are playing with this a lot. To be a Jew is to identify with Israel, to identify with the Jewish state. You will say, but it's not rational. You can become to be a Jew and anti-Zionist. But in the end of the story, who won in this identical politics today? How Israel forced people that define themselves as Jew and feel very, very difficult to define themselves as Jew? What Israel imposed on them? You have to identify with the Jewish state. In Israel is gaining a lot with this policy. Then I decided that I don't belong to the same identity of Avigdor Lieberman. He wants me to stay a Jew. Bibi Netanyahu wants me to live in the Jewish state. I decided to resign. And I don't care what people will think about me. Thank you very much.
Are you familiar with the Kazar theory? There's a theory, it's widely accepted as anti-Semitic, that Ashkenazi Jews come from the Khazars and they're not Levantine. But DNA tests.
It's not anti-Semitic, it's a question of fact. So Shlomo Sand, for example, has argued that, I think probably exaggerated, but it's simply a question of fact. If my ancestors from the Ukraine have Kazar roots, changes nothing. I'm Jewish. My grandfather was Jewish. My family happens to have a story saying that we're descended from the Baal Shem Tov. Okay, that's part of the culture. Doesn't matter what the DNA shows.
It just doesn't matter. 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 It just doesn't matter.
Bring home the hostages, period.
On October 7th, Hamas came in and murdered about 1,200 Israeli people, and 200 plus Israelis were kidnapped.
How is that okay? How is society not speaking up?
That could have been your mom, that could have been your sister, that could have been you.
They are us. We are them.
They're still being tortured by Hamas, and we need to act fast.
There is nothing political or dangerous about saying, bring them home now. Nothing.
My name is Elon Gold.
Jennifer Jason Lee.
Sarah Idan, and I stand with Israel
And the Jewish people. Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
But how is it that only white Jews get to be referred to as Semitic?
What's your thoughts? Please be respectful with your comments. Also, please click the like, click the notification bell, and subscribe to this channel.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this back, Genesis 14 verse 13
Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was the... Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10.